Oh yes. Oh yes. Happy Sunday morning. Yes, it is I, your host, Pogokero, with yet another deep, wacky, intellectually stimulating episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. Hey, good morning. Alright. Here I am at my base. I've replaced the trees back here with spruces for Christmassy. Yay. And I'm working on a new project. I realized my math here is wrong. Man, I messed this up. Oh crap. So I started working it out, and I'm like, man, I didn't quite do this right. So that one yellow there is $1 million in stacks of $10,000. Each block is $10,000. So there's 100 stacks, 100 blocks. So that's $1 million. And then from that corner all the way to this corner is $100 million. So from that corner and then straight down, that's $100 million. That's why I'm filling it in. But I don't have enough wool. So then 10 of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, $100 million is 1 billion. So not way down there. That's if you stack these in a row on a line, but we're not. We're just making it this way. So then I'm gonna have to work out how far $100 million or $100 billion is, so we can show you what Bill Gates is worth and Jeff Bezos. Yes, Merry Christmas. What? I don't know about this. That kind of scares me. Any kind of Christmas music, you know, the copyright people are gonna come get me. This is my iron farm. It's a great, fantastic thing. It produces ridiculous amounts of iron. We will come down here. I don't know, let you know. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to. I already took a big stack right here because I had to go refill my own stores in my workshop. So yeah, I eat up all this iron. It gets used, and it's I like this setup. It's very efficient. So we've got poppies. The poppies now, I'll show you that. Now the poppies have a use. Before they were just poppies. But today, now I will show you. First of all, I reworked the entrance here. I probably work this more. This looks kind of wrong. Can I do it right here? Yeah, I gotta work on a little bit, but yeah, it should be alright. Nope, there. Better. And then this I want going to. Well, anyways, this is what I'm working on. Now I can't get up there. Haha, scaffolding, man, I love this stuff. Okay. So I needed to go up one more. Okay, got this. Just a little bit of spot checking. Right there. Oh, that was great. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I might need to work this side to make it even, or just open up this. Anyways, nice way up, easy way up. And then we have a new chest here, honeycomb, ha ha ha, with some veggies, I guess. Because I put a roof on top now. The Citadel has a roof. Everyone's enclosed. There's this contraption here, and we come inside. Yes, the new and improved agriculture center. The workers all have beds now, so they can sleep. There's lights everywhere. I took down the walls in between them so they could all hang out. I put flowers in, and I just made it prettier. And then I put bees in. The bees are great. So what the bees do, this beehive is the one natural beehive I found. It took me forever to find it. And I plugged this guy in. And yeah, the bees come out, and what they do is they go to the flowers and they, do their thing. And along the way, they pollinate a bunch of these guys, which is like bone mealing them. So it increases the rate of agriculture by a lot. So it's great. It's great. And then I harvest the honeycombs out of this one. And then with the honeycombs, I make artificial beehives. Bee boxes. Bee box. And these guys, I harvest the honey out of. So that guy is for honeycomb to make these guys, more of these guys, which are beehives that you make with wood. So yeah, and these guys are just hanging out. If I made more beehives, they would hang out in their beehive, but I don't have enough for them yet. And this way, they pollinate everything. Ha 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 ha. Okay. And then with the honey, I can make honey blocks, which I've never made before. Let's see. Here we go. There. Honey block. Ta-da! New recipes unlocked. Yes. So the honey block, it makes you stick, I think. Somewhat translucent. Cool. Okay. Yay! I got a honey block now. What else did I work on? Oh yeah, I kind of enclosed this. I'm working on making this a hermetically sealed environment. Then out there are all the monsters that want to kill me, but they can't. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I made this a window. So, sorry. So it's transparent. I can see outside. No more dark wall. You can see through it. And then I made more storage for the agriculture, because believe it or not, it's gonna get used up eventually. And then I can trade with the farmers. Yay! Look at that guy. See? Look it. I don't want to go out there. There's no creepers because of the cats, but there's everything else. Alright. Let's turn this down a bit. Alright. So, yeah, I did that. I made this place look nice inside. Oh yeah, and I started on this giant thing here, which is $100 million, just straight up, and just one of them is $100 million. Okay, the gold farm. So I realized I had made a mistake in my gold farm, in that the pigmen were falling too many blocks, and about half of them would die on impact. which is bad because if I want maximum gold production, I need to kill them with my looting sword, so I get their drops. So I had to raise it by 1. You can't really tell. I worked it a bit, but it's still kind of clunky. Like, it's clunky. So I then understood that, oh hey, I don't need to have this funky turn here, and then I made like, yeah, I can just make it into this wall over here and raise it up higher. So I won't have this funky drop here. In fact, I can raise it up like even higher, so I don't have this step at all. I like having these extra hoppers in front to catch the stuff that falls here. But in all of this, I want you to notice how it's kind of laggy. Like it's ridiculous laggy. This isn't really a problem with the Bedrock edition. It's really optimized. And I have a pretty beastly machine. It's not like I have a low-end machine. Like my machine should be able to play Minecraft. I think Java is just not a very optimized thing. It's just not optimized. I don't know. Java is just not that great. I mean, it is. It runs this game on lots of machines, but the one written natively in a different language just flows way better. Can't help it. Of course, it's written for it too, right? But okay, so what's going on in the world? Donald Trump has been impeached. That is fantastic. But the issue is, before anything, Mitch McConnell, leader of the Senate, the guy who's going to set up everything for when the trial goes to Senate, met with Donald's lawyers. And he went on TV and he said, oh yeah, me, Mitch McConnell, the guy that's going to set up the trial, who's going to take an oath to be fair and impartial, I'm coordinating with the defense and to make the trial as good for the defense as I possibly can. So Mitch McConnell is going to take an oath after saying this on TV. He's going to take an oath saying, I promise to be impartial. No, you're not. You're not going to be fair. You're not going to be fair at all. You're working with the defense to set up. That's called a sham trial. That's what that is. That's a sham trial. Yeah, no, that's dumb. No, I can't believe he'd have the audacity to even try that. That's insane. That's coup level gaslighting. Donald Trump now is saying stuff like, oh yeah, I'm not really impeached. I'm not really impeached. But he is. He's impeached. It's done. The vote has been cast. The bill has been passed. It's done. Now, has it been transmitted to the Senate? No. And that's where Nancy Pelosi comes in. She's playing hardball, just like Mitch McConnell plays hardball. She's saying, look guys, you just told us that you are not going to set up a fair trial. I have no incentive whatsoever to hand these impeachment documents over to you guys just so you can murder them. When you've said that's exactly what you're going to do. You're not even going to try for a fair trial. You're not going to present evidence. You're not going to do anything. Nope, we're not going to do it. So instead, we're going to just continue our own investigations. I don't care. So Nancy Pelosi is like in the position of power in this position right now. Donald wants to be exonerated because that's what his ego says. Mitch McConnell wants to dismiss it just so it goes away and they can continue their consolidation of power. See, it works so much better now. I get a little bit of stuff, but not much. And it fills up faster. Alright. So here we are. Donald Trump is impeached. And as someone who's impeached, he cannot pardon people who are part of his impeachment. That's why it kind of bothers me that they didn't bring in the Mueller report, because they could have stopped any promise of impeachment by introducing the Mueller report into the articles of impeachment. Then Donald couldn't impeach anybody related to that. But as it stands, yeah, he's impeached, and they're just waiting to hand it over. All right, I don't want to hang out here. And Pelosi is just not going to do it. So in the meantime, we get to sit with it all Christmas because everyone's going home. No work is going to get done until like next year. So we're just going to sit with an impeached president who's going crazy. It's hilarious. Of course, this impeached president is going to continue confirming judges to lifetime appointments, even when the judges they confirm are not qualified. I mean, the Republic, they just want to stick in people who are loyal psychophants. So that's a problem, because these people are going to be in positions of power for a long time, and they can't be removed without great effort. Where am I going? Let's go to the horsey plains. The horse plains. Horse plains. Ah! Wow. Pretty neat. Yeah, that's a lot of wealth, right? When the bottom 20% of us are in the hole, and what? Oh my gosh! Forget you, pig! I can't believe that. A pig just hijacked my minecart. That's hilarious. How'd you get on there? Oh, right here. Oh, okay. I gotta fix that. That's hilarious. A pig just stole my minecart. This is Horsey Plains. I was looking for bees in the plains, but alas, none were here. But there are a bunch of horses. Like a lot of horses here. So I named it Horsey Plains. That's a big swamp. I'm surrounded by swamp. It's just like, ugh. What's up, horse? All right, here, hold on. Oh. Whoa. Okay. Okay, the other thing that's going on internationally is that it looks like India is under Modi, prime minister or president, I'm not sure, but a guy named Modi, I think, Modi, is kind of authoritarian. Like, he's trampling their constitution, and the police are getting kind of crazy and violent. He changed the status quo in a region called Kashmir, which is like, I mean, I don't really understand, I don't really know the whole deal with it. I just know that it's a contested area between Muslims and Hindi. And I don't understand why they can't just chill, but I don't know. That's like, so that's kind of terrible. That's happening. There was a crackdown in Iran, where the Iranian government cut off the country from the internet, and then did massive crackdowns on the people, like total violence and stuff. But because the internet was down, the people couldn't communicate with each other. So that kind of makes me want to wonder if you could take these old routers that everyone has and like make like an ad hoc internet network based on just routers, an open router system for like emergencies. Just like ran nodes or something. Anyways, because yeah, the Iranian government shut down the internet completely for like a week, and did a bunch of crackdowns on the people, and like, I guess arrested them, killed them, beat them down. The Iranian people, that sucks for them. I mean, they were doing great in the 50s until they said we don't want to play ball with the Western powers with oil. And then so the Western powers staged a coup and installed their dictator. So yeah, there was a dictator called the Shah who ruled in Iran, but he was a dictator. He wasn't democratic. He was a dictator. But he was just friendly with the West. And then, but because he was a dictator, that meant he didn't have the support of everyone. So of course, what happens is another force took power. The force that got the most people together took power, and that was the religious fundamentalists. And yeah, then they overthrew the Shah, which was great, but only for them to take power, which is terrible because they're religious fundamentalists. So instead of going back to the great times like before, like in the, it just went to like religious persecution. So that's what they're under right now. And they've been under it for like a long time, and they're trying to get out from under it, but the government doesn't want to go. Authoritarian governments have a tendency not to want to leave. So, and then like, so yeah, so what do? They did this terrible thing. They, stay with the light. It's getting dark. They shut down the internet. You know, they shut down the internet. That robbed people of their voice. And then inflicted violence upon the population. State violence. So without justice, right? Because there was no justice in that violence. It wasn't like the government was defending itself. Like, no one was doing violence on the government. The government didn't. So the government wielded violence unjustly. That's what makes it so bad. So I mean, you gotta understand, right? We're coming from the West. So our idea, our operating system, if you will, is based on the ancient Greeks. That is based on the ideas that ideas are important. Ideas are so important that people die for them. People fight for them. And that you want to express the idea as best as you can. So if your country is based on this idea, then your country is going to want to express it the best it can and make a system that helps that happen. So when I look at something, I gotta look at it and be like, yo, this is unjust. This is like according to the way I look at things, this is not fair. And when you don't serve the goddess of justice, bad things happen. You have an unhealthy society. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, what's happening with my system here? Buffering, am I losing it? I got dropped frames. Error. 4. Oh man, what happened? There you go, alright. Okay, still healthy, alright. Freaking me out there. So it's not right that Iran does that to its people. It's not right that the United States does that to its people either. I mean, it's not even doing it to its own people. It's doing it to migrant people who have nothing, and they just lock them up, and then they neglect them. It's like, not even take care of yourself. Oh crap. See, Java's weird. You can't shoot from a cart. It won't let you. Alright. So I'm not saying that the United States is perfect. Not when a guy like this can buy his way into an election. Yeah, maybe I should switch to Bedrock for the performance. Like, maybe my machine can't handle it. But then I'm gonna miss this wonderful iron farm. But in return, I get an amazing gold farm. But iron is so much more useful than gold. I mean, gold's important, but iron is life. Without iron, you can't really do anything. You need iron for, like, everything. Man, everything. Alright. So, and this iron farm is just so small and compact and great. The iron farm they have in Bedrock, it's terrible. It's only 32 ingots per hour, which is dumb. 32 ingots per hour? That's awful. That's awful. So you got to spend all your time digging. If you or set up a bunch of iron farms. So and worse than that, you got to set up the iron farm on your spawn chunk because you need it to be running all the time when you're in the world. You can't, you know, it's not efficient enough to only have it AFK when you AFK, like, or when you play the game. If you leave to play the game in another area, you need it to keep running because it's so bad. Yeah, that's the other thing I want Bedrock to fix, is to make a decent iron farm. Because otherwise, you're just burning electricity. And that's no good. But again, I guess they would have to revamp their villager system. Bedrock's villager system is different from Java by a great deal. So I don't know. Where else can I go? Well, here, let's leave this one. Let's go check out. Let me go show you. Let me go check out this other one. Hold on. We'll see it in the same video. So I started a new world in Java, or in Bedrock. Yeah, and this is like, the performance is really different, right? Well, the field of view is different. Let me set the field of view to like, well, whatever. The field of view is slightly different, but it just feels smoother. And again, I have nothing, so this is like a beginning farm. I have to make. I don't even have a mine yet. I don't have enough food. I have nothing. So if I were going to play in this world, I would have to like disconnect, so I can concentrate on making stuff to like not die. And I don't want to do that. And plus, I don't remember where everything is. I guess I can make my castle entrance here. Oh, that's right. I was making stuff, but yeah, if I keep this, I can't do this, because if I play this game, I'm gonna stop talking, because there's so much in this world I need to do. So hit me save and quit and go back to the other one. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to talk to you guys. Like as it is, I'm being a little remiss here. I have pictures I want to show you. That gets me talking. Ugh. Okay, so here, let me show you some stuff that I've been working on, or that I was talking about. There we go. I found this fantastic, here, can I do it here? Yeah, this fantastic tweet by Barb McQuaid. She has a series of these guys that explain a bunch of stuff, or like that obliterates Trump's defenses on a bunch of issues. So let me work this out here. So it's big enough. Okay. So here's this first one. Trump did nothing wrong. looking the wrong way. Let me do it like this. Alright, Trump did nothing wrong. Response. Trump hit the trifecta of impeachable conduct by subverting an election, seeking foreign influence, and putting personal interest ahead of national interest. And he obstructed Congress by refusing to produce any witnesses or documents. The next defense. Ooh, wait a minute here. Next. Sugiwa non. Okay, dude. Okay. No harm occurred because the military aid went through. But the aid went through only after Trump was caught. In the meantime, months of delay cost Ukraine lives in its war with Russia. U.S. credibility was harmed, and moral authority to fight corruption was eroded. Because aid went through, no misconduct was committed. But bribery occurs upon demand for personal favor in exchange for performance of an official act. If you offer a cop $20 to get out of a traffic ticket, even if he declines, you have still committed bribery. Next. Defense 4. Abuse of power is not even a crime. Well, impeachable conduct may be criminal conduct, but need not be. A president could be impeached if he watched TV all day and failed to fulfill his constitutional duty to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. Right. So if Donald Trump refuses to do his job, you can impeach him for that. Alright, here we go. Defense number 5. There's nothing wrong with asking for an investigation. Well, if this were a legitimate investigation, you would need to send your personal lawyer and his henchmen to do it. Witnesses testified under oath that Trump did not want an investigation, just an announcement of an investigation. Right? Because he's not really interested in stopping corruption. He just wanted the soundbite to play against Joe Biden to increase his chances to win the election. So defense 6. There was no quid pro quo. Read the transcript. Trump's request for a favor is strong evidence, corroborated by witness testimony under oath. A months-long scheme to get Zelensky to go to the mic and announce the Biden probe. Aid was his leverage. That's how these things work, man. Watch like a crime show. I don't know. Okay, here. So, defense number 7. As vice president, Biden held up aid as leverage to get rid of the Ukrainian public prosecutor. But it was appropriate for a president or vice president to take action to advance the interests of the nation. Trump was advancing his own personal interests. That's the difference. He wasn't doing it to help America, he was doing it to help Trump. Number 8. Testimony is heresy. Well, the rules of evidence don't apply. Also, the call summary, the Sondland testimony, those are non-heresy. Trump has barred direct witnesses. The people who are directly involved, Trump said, no, you guys can't testify. I won't let you. So you can't have it both ways. If they had information favorable to Trump, do you think they would have come forward and said, okay, I'll testify? If there was nothing wrong, they would come forward and speak. Now you can't, I want to be careful there because you can make the same argument for regular people. If you have nothing to hide, then cooperate with the police. Yeah, but it's different. Right? Citizens are naturally at a power disadvantage to police. So yeah, they need to protect their rights. But the president is a public servant, and he has a lot of power. The public vests a lot of trust into this guy, the one guy, to do the right thing for everyone, not just himself. So the burden for him to show that he's being cool, that he's not, he's not taking action only to benefit himself, the burden is on him. He's a powerful guy who has lots of trust. So it's up to him to show, to prove to everyone that, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm only doing this to help the people. It's on him to do that. Donald Trump is taking the opposite approach. Donald Trump is saying, no, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm president. I'm the most powerful person in this country. I say I'm doing this for your own benefit, but I'm not going to let you see anything. You can't see any of it. I'm hiding it. You can't see any of it. You can't see any of it. That's different. No, Donald Trump needs to be transparent and show what's up. He's got to keep records so that historians can look back on this time and understand the trajectory of the United States. So if the information that these guys had was good, it was okay for Donald Trump, then for sure they'd come out. But the fact that Donald Trump is hiding them, it insinuates terrible things. The things that we're accusing him of, it supports it. Okay, number 9. Happens all the time. Get over it. No, but this is not happens all the time. When the Russians stole the debate book from George W. Bush and offered it to Al Gore called the FBI. He didn't take the book. He's like, that's un-American. What are you doing, Russia, trying to get involved in our election? Get out of here. That was Al Gore. Donald Trump, on the other hand, is like, yes, please. He asks countries all the time to interfere in our election. He takes their money, he takes their hacking, he takes their information, he takes everything. Oh, the Russian KGB stole this information? Okay, I'll take it. So yeah, dude is not right. Trump sought foreign influence in our election and harmed national security by delaying aid designed to fight Russia, our adversary. We don't have to accept it. We deserve better. This guy is not acting in our best interest. Okay. Defense 10. Impeachment would undo an election. Well, yeah. That's the point. In fact, it's not even undoing an election, because the last election was in 2018. And we elected these people to do this thing they're doing right now. They couldn't have done it unless we elected them to do it. So, yeah, it's not undoing an election. But even if it is, that's what the point's for. That's why it's in the Constitution, to undo an election. That's why it's there. It's not punishment. Yeah, it's to protect everything. Impeachment proceedings are moving too fast. This has been going slower than Bill Clinton, on pace with Richard Nixon. For a president who presents a clear and present danger to national security, removal is urgent and can't come soon enough. The problem, though, is Mitch McConnell has set up a sham election or a trial, so that's not going to work. All right, finally, we need to hear from the whistleblower. The whistleblower is only a tipster whose tip led to the investigation. Tipsters do not testify at trial. The witnesses testify. We have a duty to protect whistleblowers, to encourage them to use proper channels to report abuse. So let's hide that one. Blah. Nope. Infringe that one. All right. So yes, it's rainy, like it's rainy here. It's dark and rainy. Oh. Now, you may here work off. You may be thinking, pogokero, man, aren't you overreacting? Aren't you talking a little bit crazy? Aren't you putting too much into this? Reading too much in between the lines? And I say no. I mean, look, we got concentration camps. Kids are dying under government control. We're making orphans out of whole families. We're doing like generational damage to people across the country, like Flint, New Jersey. Like we have massive issues here because the infrastructure hasn't been keeping up. Why hasn't infrastructure been keeping up? And I remember there was a deal made. Remember our New Deal, the original New Deal back in the 1930s? The New Deal the New Deal was, we'll allow capitalism if capitalism maintains a connection with the people, so that as corporations grow and profit, they're going to lift up the people alongside them. It's all going to happen together. That was the deal. And it worked for a long time, right? It worked pretty good. Until it hit the 1970s. Then things started getting messed up. And corporations decoupled themselves from the people. They wanted to increase profits but not lift up the people. Because women were coming into the workforce. So that wage disparity helped fuel corporate profits. Because the women still weren't getting, back in the 70s, they still weren't getting paid nearly as much as men were getting paid. They had a lot of issues, glass ceiling, harassment, a lot of stuff. But then Reagan came in. Reagan was super friendly to corporations. So I have a list of stuff that Reagan did. We can look at, remember, history doesn't go away. What's done is done. And it can't ever be undone. So let's go back. It's under fascists. Let's look what Ronald Reagan did. Let's go back and see things. I find all sorts of great stuff on Twitter. In Friendly. Check that out. Okay, so here we go. We got Ronald. You can see the point. Who did I steal this from? I stole it from a guy named the Ward on Christmas at WardQNormal on Twitter. He did this, and what he does is he drops in the point when Reagan took power. So here you see the gains for everyone. You can't see my cursor, maybe. Or can you? I don't know. The gains for everyone were pretty on par until the 1970s. Then things started getting crazy, and when Reagan dropped in, he decoupled the corporations from the people. So corporate profits started going up, and the people pretty much stayed at the bottom. they didn't grow anymore since the 80s. The bottom hasn't grown. All right, so then we go to the next slide. So here we got, okay, United States debt in 2014 dollars as percentage of GDP. So the blue is percentage of GDP. In the 1940s, we were at war, and so we financed that war through debt. But after that, we slowly worked our way down until like the 70s. Then things started getting hairy, and then when Reagan came in, he introduced deficit spending. Reagan's the one who blew up our deficits with the arms race. He had an arms race with the USSR and drove up our debt and deficit a huge amount. And then Bush continued it on. And then Clinton was gonna keep it going. But then the dot-com bubble happened. And so that's the dot-com bubble. Yay, dot-com bubble. Like, it's gonna be all right. And then Bush had his war. He cut taxes for the rich. And then when Obama came in, Obama put the war on the tab. And then had passed Obamacare. That increased it by a lot. And then we just, man, it's just been nuts. It's been nuts. Okay, let's keep going. Life expectancy versus healthcare spending over time from 1970 to 19. So basically, how much you're spending per how long you live. So how long you live is up, and how much you spend is right. So you want to go up as much as you can without going right. That's the best. Right? You want to live as long as you can without spending any money. Okay. So we'll take Japan. Japan lives like the longest, right? They're at the very top, and they spend about $4,500. Almost $4,000, and they live the most. The United States lives the least to only 79, and it spends the most at 9,000. Well, if we look at our chart, the United States was keeping on track with everyone else until Reagan. And then we had deregulation. Yeah, look at that. That's terrible. Look at this. What is that? Is that the Vietnam War? I don't know. And then Reagan. Then it levels out. It no longer goes up. It only goes out to the right. It doesn't go up anymore. It just gets more expensive. Okay, so this is two charts. The top 1% versus the bottom 50%. So here, let's look at the United States first. So over time, since the 80s, the top 1% has been taking more and more of the share. Just the top one little sliver is taking a huge chunk. Now, while the bottom big chunk, bottom 50%, has been losing money over time. Conversely, in Western Europe, it's the exact opposite. The bottom 50% have most of the wealth. The richest don't have more than the bottom 50%. And it really hasn't changed a whole bunch. It's gotten a little bit closer, but not much. Okay, look at this next chart. Percent increase since 1970 in the annual cost to attend the University of Illinois, the median household income in Illinois, and the minimum wage in Illinois. So the blue line is education, the cost of education. When Reagan came into power, everything decoupled from the people. The government, the institutions, all decoupled from the people. And the minimum wage kind of has been pretty flat. It hasn't really increased at all. The income has increased about the same as the median, not the mode, but the median, the average-ish, the middle. The middle income has been about growing on pace with the minimum wage, pretty low. But the cost of the education has gone up more and more and more and more. Look at that. Look at that huge gap between the median $500 or 500%. 500% increase in the median wage compared with the 1400% increase in the cost of education. You can't do it. You cannot do it without going into debt or be rich. Okay. Here's the federal debt. So it was going down, down, down. Then Reagan came in and increased the debt in order to do the arms race. Then Bush increased the debt and had a war. Then Clinton came in and pushed it back down to the dot-com bubble. And then the dot-com bubble burst. And G.W. Bush had his war, but he didn't pay for it. And then when Obama came into power, he paid for the war, and he got everyone health care. And then when Trump, it's going to go up again, even more. Okay, so now here's the top marginal tax rate. The rich were paying a lot of money in taxes, a lot of the percent, with a marginal tax rate, which is kind of dumb. It's like, you know, but whatever. And then Reagan just chopped it by a bunch, and then Bush chopped it even more, and then W had to increase it, and then it's been around there. Not W. This is the first Bush. Had to increase it. Okay, is that it? Yep. That's it. All right. So go back to. Hold on. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the problems going on right now in our government are not something brand new. Trump is not the architect of this gigantic cluster F. He is a symptom of it, of a disease. He's the natural outgrowth of the underlying disease. That disease is the unresolved historical tensions, issues. America hasn't dealt with its history of slavery and genocide. It hasn't dealt with its history of exploitation of immigrants. It still hasn't done. I mean, look at it. Still look how it treats migrants now. It still does a horrible job about it. That's why we're suffering. Is because we have these historical issues we have not dealt with. Because of these things that Reagan did, that caused the decoupling between the corporations, capitalism, and the people. Now we have huge wealth disparities, and we have all the symptoms associated with it. We have stagnant wages, we have breaking families, we have a decreased birth rate, we have sluggish growth, we have stagnant standard of living. We accept homeless people like that, oh, just the way it is. What? That's crazy. We accept people going into medical bankruptcy all the time. Oh, you broke your foot, you deserve to be bankrupt. What? How did we get to that point? Where we house children in cages and transfer taxpayer money to a private corporation to do it. What? How did this become acceptable? There's so many bad things going on. Yeah, we have a city who's got poisoned water for 5 years, and it still has poisoned water. I can't handle it. So, look, this is a new year. This is a new decade. We gotta grow out of this. This is the year that we gotta deal with our issues if we're to tackle climate change. Climate change is going to happen. It's happening as we speak. It's happening. Look at Australia. The entire continent of Australia is burning. Koalas are going extinct. I mean, their whole forest is burning. They climb to the top of the trees where they get roasted, and then they fall out of the trees and they die. Yeah, they burn to death. Koalas everywhere, dying. And that's all of our nature. That's all of nature everywhere, all over the planet. And that's only 1.5 degrees increase. Imagine when we go to 2 degrees increase. or 2.5 degrees increase. Dude, we're dead. We're done for. Look at the lag coming. Like, look at the crazy weather coming in. Like, we've had a drought here in Oregon, but when it rains, it's like torrential flooding rain, and then we have another drought again. So it's not like the even keel, even rain like we used to have, the steady, constant drizzle. Now it's like nothing for a long time, and then like too much. Nothing in between. That's climate change. That's climate change. The loss of the in-between. You won't have any more in-betweens anymore. It's gonna be extremes. Extreme drought or extreme flooding. Yeah. Might have to leave Java. I don't know. It's a lot of work though I did. I don't know if I want to do it again. So yeah, we gotta deal with our history. History doesn't go away. So what you do is going to become history. So in a way, you're personally responsible. But again, you're also one person in a huge crowd. And so if you've ever been in a concert with a crush of people and the crowd starts moving, you're going to move with the crowd. You don't have a choice. It's not really up to you. But do what you can. And one way of doing it is not being with that crowd. If you're in that crowd, get out. All right. Well, I talked a bunch, I guess. We're just gonna see where this goes. We don't want to, like, nobody wants a civil war. The only people who want a civil war are Nazis and Russians and Confederates. And screw those guys. We don't want to give them the satisfaction. Okay, America, hang in there. Happy holidays. It looks like a dark time, but this is where the light comes back. This is when the light comes back. All right. Catch you on the next time. Peace. Pogokero out.